All right, you guys, so we are doing part 2 of lesson 5.12. Once again, we are solving equations with structure. So there is going to be some substitution here, so let's go ahead and get started. So in this case, guys, example 1, they're telling us two things. We want to go ahead and let, in this case, the value of m equal 6x plus 5, and they want us to rewrite the expression of negative 18x minus 15. First thing we have to do in this case, guys, is we want to go ahead and work with this expression here. Once we work with this expression, then we'll go ahead and use this information to do something else. Now, we want to go ahead and rewrite this, guys. Rewriting in this case would be basically seeing if we have any factors in this case that we could take out. In this case, we want to go ahead and look for any GCFs. And GCFs in this case, guys, are numbers that could divide into both of our numbers here, so negative 18 and negative 15. And number that divides into both would be a 3. Since my leading coefficient here is negative, it is going to be a negative 3 instead of a positive. So, in this case, let me just write this again. Negative 18x equals negative 3, open parentheses. Once again, GCF is more or less like division, but you're not getting rid of the number. So we have left a 6x plus 5. All right, so this is how we rewrite the equation here. Now, moving on to the information they give us above, they're telling us in this case that m in this case equals 6x plus 5. We do have a 6x plus 5 right here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and replace that with an m. So my answer in this case should be a negative 3m. All right, let's go ahead and see some other one. And this is example 2. And in this case, we want to go ahead and write an equation equivalent to our following equation here. Now, luckily for us in this case, guys, we actually don't have to factor anything out just because they already factored it out for us. So the question for you here is, do you see any numbers or any expressions that they have in common? Answer to that is yes, they do have the x squared plus 4 and x squared plus 4 in common. So knowing that, I'm actually going to go ahead and just choose any letter in the alphabet, basically. I'm going to let, let's say m equal x squared plus 4. Which means that if I want to write an equivalent form of this equation up here, I'll be replacing x squared plus 4 with an m. So then our new equation here on the bottom should be m squared, because this here is squared, minus 11m equals negative 24. So this is an equivalent form. Before I consider this my final answer, I do want to move everything to one side to make the equation here equal to 0. So I'm going to go ahead and add 24 to both sides. And add 24. So then we have m squared minus 11m plus 24 equals 0. All right. So that would be our answer. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one here. And here's the next one. And in this case, guys, they are asking us to write an equivalent equation to 3x plus 7 squared minus a 6 equals to a negative 6x minus 14. And we do want to go ahead and express this in terms of m. So question again here, guys, is do you see anything in common here that this equation shares on both sides or on each separate expression here? And the answer to that is no. So we actually have to look for a way to get equivalent or the same expression in this case. So I actually want to go ahead and focus on this one here. And the question for you here is going to be, is there a GCF between these two? And in this case, a number that could divide into both is a 2. But since my leading coefficient here is negative, I will be factoring out a negative 2. So then on the bottom, I should have 3x plus 7 squared equals a negative 2, open parentheses. If I factor out a negative 2 from a negative 6x, I have 3x. And if I factor a negative 2 from a negative 4, I have a positive 7. Now, in this case, do you guys see anything that they share? And they do share the 3x plus 7 and 3x plus 7. So in this case, I'm actually going to say in this case, let m equal 3x plus 7. So wherever we see a 3x plus 7, we'll replace it with an m. So then that's going to become m squared equal to a negative 2m. Once again, let's make our equation here equal to 0. So I'm going to go ahead and add 2 to both sides and add 2m. So that's going to give us m squared plus a 2m equals 0. And that would be the equivalent form.